What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Raptor7 here, coming at you with another video. And today, what we're going to be talking about is the upcoming Call of Duty towards the end of the video. But for the majority of the video, I want to ask you guys a question, and you can leave your answers in the comments below and voice your opinions there. The question I have today is COD really dead, or is Call of Duty ever going to die? Now, I ask this because every single year, it is without a single doubt, it is always said, no matter it's the multiplayer reveal trailer or the campaign trailer, everybody says, oh, COD's dead this year. Infinite Warfare, the game you're seeing on screen right now, is called the worst Call of Duty to date, which I am 100% behind. I am 100% behind. Personally, as much as it pains to say it, I prefer Advanced Warfare over this. This game's too fucking dumb, but I put up with it. Well, it's the most recent COD, and this is what everybody's playing. So, well, not everybody, but this is what, like, you know. Now, this game was supposed to be the game that killed COD. Do I think it did? Tremendously. I think this game shot us right into the ground as a community. Now, I will say this. There's been a lot of videos going around, specifically one, and I won't name any names, but this one YouTuber really made a valid point in his video, and I just want to acknowledge it. In his words, he said Infinite Warfare is like not really good for new players, like new players to Call of Duty, the franchise, and I have to back him up 100% on it, because he's absolutely right. Infinite Warfare is more filled with competitive people, and reason being, which is his reasoning. His reasoning was, which is also mine, because I fully agree with him, and I think he's absolutely right. Infinite Warfare is full of mostly competitive players. Now, in a general sense, that's like, oh, so is everybody on the game is freaking tryhard? No, it's just people who take this game very seriously. Point being, all you see in this game are people who either move on to the next Call of Duty, like competitive players, pro players. They have to move on to the next COD. They like it or not, too bad. This is your job. You play this game competitively. You compete for money every year. You have to play the game. All the pros have voiced their opinion. We don't like this game. This game's dumb. And this game's not really, like, friendly. Like, when you meet a stack of people in this game's very annoying. They're all running propulsion, rewind, every 4 fallouts, E-Rats, K-Bar Invective, Bunker Busters. I could go on for hours about all the bullshit in this game. And it's just baffling, because I really had faith in this game, sadly, because I thought, like, you know, when this game was announced, they had said on Twitter that, like, oh, this game's mostly takes place on the ground. The air combat really isn't that serious because the thrusters have been, like, adjusted. Like, BO3, it's insane, but in this game, it's kind of toned down. Now, if you put on propulsion with the Synaptic, which is a specialist you're seeing me use right here, that whole tone down goes out the window, and this is why he's the most broken person in the game, specialist rather. Now, all the tryhards obviously gravitate towards this guy. He has a broken hitbox, he has insane abilities, he has suppressed specialist weapons. That's like a suppressed specialist weapon. We don't know when you pop your specialist, excuse me? That's fair? And that's why I agree. This game really isn't that good to new players. Like, if you went to the store and you said, I'm gonna go and buy Call of Duty because I've never played Call of Duty. If this was your first Call of Duty, you would turn away from the franchise almost immediately after stepping foot into this game. And even though I know for a fact COD is not dead, this game does have a community, and the only community it has, by God, is the people who A, like the game, B, are competitive players, or C, they just love Call of Duty. Like, no matter how bad the game is, they're just gonna play it because they're just Call of Duty players at the heart. And honestly, that's kind of what I am. Like, I like Call of Duty for what it is. I just don't like what it's become. I like the whole arcade shooter style. I like Battlefield as well, but the whole arcade shooter style has always been my type of game. And the reason why I've been falling like out of love with Call of Duty. It's just these games just get worse and worse each year. It's like, listen to what the fuck we want as a community. You want your games to sell well, you want your games to do well. Listen to your community. Now, BO3. To get on the topic of BO3, to stray away from the main topic. Black Ops 3, I do agree, it is a bad game. But it being a Treyarch title, it did amazing for its numbers. That game, like, has people till this day on it. You find lobbies instantly. Like, BO3 has a very big community. And it's because BO3 was just diverse. The first to introduce specialists and this, like, wall running and all that crazy stuff. Like, BO3 kind of did it. And coming out of Advanced Warfare, I'm pretty sure BO3 has such a good following because, one, it was a Treyarch game. They made Black Ops 2, like, hello? Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, World at War, all good games. Why wouldn't we think BO3 is going to be the best game out of the 3-year cycle? And it did, and honestly, in my opinion, BO3 is better than IW and AW. Out of the 3, I'd go with BO3 any day of the week. The only reason I'd ever pick IW over is because all the DLC guns are acquired via challenge, and I think that is 100% fair for everybody. Now, back to BO3. The only reason I dislike BO3 is it's just the DLC. There's more DLC in that game than there is in the actual base game. There's more content that was added into the game than the game had at launch. No game should ever be like that. No game. If a game is ever like that, it is certified pay to win. And BO3, my god, is paid to win. All the DLC guns run the game. There's no base gun in the game that can even do anything to any of them, except for the VMP. And it's just annoying, because when you're like me and you have literally no luck, you don't get any of these guns. Okay, I have a Peacekeeper. I have an HLX. I have an HG40. I have not that many days played on my Xbox account. Now, on my PlayStation 4 account, I have at least like 60 or 50 days played on that game. On my Xbox account, I have 8 days played. So that's about 68, you know, like I have 68 days played and I don't have none of the OP guns. Like, yeah, all the DLC guns are better than the base game guns, but I don't have a nail gun. I definitely don't have an AN-94. I for sure don't have an LV8 Basilisk. Like, where I want these guns, but no, they give all these guns to like the really low level people who barely put any PT into the game, and it's just frustrating. Because for Call of Duty not to die, you need to appeal to the players. Now, if we're all on Twitter or on social media or whatever it is, telling the developers, David Vonderhaar himself or Michael Condrey himself, we don't want variants, we don't want supply drops, we don't want DLC weapons, we want skill, like back integrated into the game, and then they still put it in, you're killing the community yourself. You want us to love your game? Then just listen to what we're asking you to do. It is not that hard to just listen to us. We expect one thing out of Call of Duty, and it's a fun year, good guns, good gameplay, and something to always like be like, you know what, that was a good Call of Duty. That's the only Call of Duty I've ever had that for was Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 and MW2. I haven't had a good feeling for COD in a long time. So is Call of Duty ever really going to die? I'm gonna leave that up to you guys to decide. Anyways, that's all I gotta say for that. Now moving on to World War II. I'm gonna talk about my expectations for World War II. Now, what I expect from World War II is... Now, I expect Call of Duty World War II to sell very well. And the reason why being is its core function of movement. Now that we're back on the ground, there's going to be a lot more skill put into play. And that's good. Call of Duty has been skillless Like, you don't need skill, you just need the right guns, and you just need to abuse the movement. There's no skill in that. I can spam the shit out of my A button as much as the next fucking Eugene can, and I can still be good at the new CODs. Back then, you had to have your timing right, your aim had to be really good, you had to read people good map awareness, the whole 9 yards. Now all you have to do is have the best fucking version of the gun or jump really high. There's no skill in that. I've been wanting, like, skill back in Call of Duty since fucking Ghost. Ghost actually took skill because the time to kill was so damn fast, you'd have to have your reactions on point. Ghost took skill. It catered to campers, but Ghost took a lot of, like, the skillful players would really do good in that game. Really good. And it's just because it hit sexuals that A1. Another reason why I think World War II is going to sell really well is mainly because we're back to the classics. Boots on the ground, kill streaks that probably, I hope, kick ass. Maps that are hopefully 3-laned. And we're just old school. World War II, like, that's where COD started. World War II, Vietnam, all that crazy time era stuff, like, that's where COD started to get its name. Now, that's honestly one of the main reasons I think it might do good, because everybody's getting what they want. We're all getting underground. We're all getting it back to old school. Like, and the announcement for attack dogs to be an actual kill streak, I've been wanting dogs in a fucking game, like, as a kill streak since BO2. I don't like BO2's fake ass raps. It's not dogs. Anyways, I think World War II is going to deliver very well towards the fan base. I'm very intrigued on the whole war playlist, or game mode rather, because it's like, it reminds me of Operations from Battlefield 1, because you do one part of the map, you progress to the next, and then so on. I do feel like that's a complete rip-off Operations, and I don't know. I just hope it plays well. I've seen all the gameplay on it. It looks like it plays good. I don't understand why we have to take the time out, like, during combat to build stuff, but hey, I'm not the developers, they are. As you see, I just died off my de-atomizer right there, kind of mad. One more thing is, I think the game is different. It's a different type of Call of Duty. Like, we want change right now, like, we want it on the ground, we want all that other stuff. That game's gonna be a change. As we know so far, there's no creative class. There's these divisions. And the way the divisions work, based on all the YouTube footage, they work well. It just, that seems like another thing from Battlefield, like classes. Like, oh, this class can only run subs and ARs. This class can run snipers and LMGs. Like, you know, they're like classes. One thing I am excited about, there's no goddamn specialist. Thank fucking God. No fucking specialist. Please. I'm tired of playing Destiny and Call of Duty in the same fucking game. I like the whole, you can attach a suppressor on whenever you want to. It's basically a free attachment slot. So you can stack up on attachments and put on a suppressor whenever you feel like it. Now, it will be situational, of course. And that's perfectly fine with me. I think that's a good innovation, I guess, because they always say innovation, verticality, innovation every fucking year. But that's a good innovation. You get to choose what you want to do while in combat. You want to use a suppressor? Go ahead. You want to go guns blazing? Go ahead. The same thing with bayonet charge. You want to charge people with a fucking knife at the end of your gun? Go nuts. You don't want to? Take it off. Like, this game, I feel like this game really lets you control how you want to play. And that's one thing I've always wanted from Call of Duty. Like, I want to play how I want to play. I've always wanted to be able to take off my attachments mid-game. Like, if this ain't working, I'm gonna just slap on a new attachment mid-game. Like, that'd be really good. Again, like Battlefield, yeah, they let you do that. You slap on red dots, slap on anything you want right there once you die and just redeploy. But it works for Battlefield. Do I think this will work for COD? I don't know. I hope it does. But it's just gonna be really different for new people too. No, new people, they're gonna think that every Call of Duty is just gonna have something like Divisions. But when they come back and play something like this or Black Ops 3 or Black Ops 2 or anything. What's creative class? That's gonna be their first thing. What the hell is creative class? What's pick 10? What's pick 13? What is all this? I'm used to divisions. Why can't I use every gun? They're just gonna sit there stuck, which is why I don't think they should have. Like, what's it called? They should have not gravitated away from creative class, but I understand why they didn't. But that's all I gotta say for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and